Hello YouTube, this is Live for Everything Die for Nothing, doing my video response to the TFYTC. Why did I get back into collecting? So first off, I've always been into collecting things. I mean, from earliest remembers, I used to collect rubbers and all sorts of stuff as a child. But I used to get spoiled quite a bit, being an only child. I got quite a few different things. I mean, first love was He-Man. Got photographs from when I'm a wee sprog with just living room floor full of He-Man figures. I had Castle Grayskull. I had loads of He-Man figures. I had the Battle Trap and the Dragon Walker. I had this like great big skeleton dinosaur thing that you could clip the He-Man figures in and carry around. I mean, I've got a photograph of me holding this thing with the ribs of this like dinosaur thing full of He-Man figures. So that was like my first love. But then Transformers came along and that took over. He-Man had sort of died off by this point. There was nothing in the shops, so Transformers took over. And then as you go up, people start saying to you, you need to stop playing with toys. It was me mum and dad basically. You go out and get out of the house and do stuff, and then you take the advice. You go out and make friends and move on. But I always had this collecting thing in the back of my mind. Sorry, I was just checking if the other half was back. So I always had this collecting bug in me, and it sort of moved on to movies. So I'd be recording stuff off the TV from when I was younger anyway, and then people would be buying me VHS tapes for birthdays and Christmases and of all the movies, any movie I particularly liked. That sort of took over. I had shelves and shelves full of VHS tapes, and then that moved on to DVDs. So once I'd got like, just my room was just shelves with VHS tapes on, then, like I said, the DVDs took over. So then that was replace all the VHSs with DVDs now, and that meant I could buy more because they fit into a smaller space. So then I was at the HMV in my local area, just going through I'd buy all the cheap things, even if they were terrible films. I mean, at one point, one of my mates was working at a distribution place for video shops, so he could get his hands on, like the videos or DVDs that they'd play in the video shops. This is when they actually had video shops, and so he could get his hands on them really cheap. So I'd be buying from him, and just any tat film, just to have it. And then you meet somebody and you start dating and doing all that stuff. You visiting family and got kids or whatever, and you you're sitting there and the kids are playing around your feet, and then one particular, he brought out this metallic shark that I can remember. I was like, oh, that's unusual, mate. What's that? He gave it to me, and I was like, what's it? This? And I'm looking at it. I'm thinking, this looks like a transformer, but I can't remember one of them from back when I was a kid. It's a bit more complicated. But he couldn't. He said to me, "It's a transformer. Can you change it?" So I was like, because my dad can't, or something like that. So I had to go, and I ended up. And I think it was the RID Skybite. I'm sure it was Skybite, or some variant of it. And I get it, and I do manage to change it into a robot, and then he's bringing me all these other ones, digging around and I ended up playing with the Transformers, me and him, while his auntie and whatever were chatting away, and so then it was like, oh, it's his birthday, let's go Toys R Us. And I'm thinking, when it? Because I get and have a mooch around the toy shop and see what's about. So I always enjoyed that. Oh dear. And then obviously relationships end, fail, whatever, meet new people, and I met my eldest son's mother. We started dating, she got pregnant, and the birth of my son happened in 2005, and the following year, for my 27th birthday, he, or his mother, and him bought me the Hasbro MPO1. I think it was about 60 quid. I think it might have been the reissue of it or something, the battle damage one. I got that, and that sort of piqued my interest. And obviously, with going round and buying toys for him, I'm seeing what's about, and nothing really happened. I got into collecting I think they were Eagle Moss made, but these little lead Marvel figures. So I was collecting them because I told her mother as I enjoyed the collecting knickknacks and things like that. So she's like, oh yeah, you just subscribe to this and you get these. So I was buying. I subscribed, and I was getting these through the post I think it's every 2-3 weeks or something like that. So you get a magazine and a lead figure, and that built up. But I'd always got this masterpiece. I kept it in the box, untouched it, because I didn't want to spoil it. And then we split up. I ended up moving back to my parents, and depression kicks in, boredom, and you don't see your mates as much or whatever. And I just started searching online for stuff I used to like Transformers was the first thing that come to mind. And I wondered if they'd made this masterpiece Optimus Prime, had they done any others? Had they done a Megatron? Because I thought that would be quite cool, forget a Megatron. And did some searching, and it popped up as MPO5 Takara, MPO5. And I was like, what's this? And looked, and then I saw as they'd done like Takara is the one that kicked off this masterpiece thing. basically I ended up buying myself MPO5 for a ridiculous amount of money from eBay, and I've still got it. It's terrible but lovely, super fragile, but I think that is what started it, and it just spiraled out of control from there. Years later, I'm still collecting, watching YouTube every day, seeing what everybody else is buying, wishing I could do the same, but you know, I've got this place now, and 2 other babies, so that's why you don't get videos from me very much. Super busy, like I think she's visiting family at the moment, so I've got 5 minutes to myself. So yeah, that's what got me back into it. There's no signs of stopping. I don't buy much as regards to Transformers anymore, but I think I'll always collect them. I'm never going to get rid of them. I can't bear to let anything go. So yeah, that's my homework done. Probably see you again in about 4 or 5 years. Right. See you later. Bye.